Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. We got us a fun build today. We're going to take this Datsun B510 station wagon and we're going to turn it into a commemorative vehicle for the destroyer group Curtis Wilbur, the USS Curtis Wilbur. Now, I was contacted by a subscriber. He says, my brother is on this ship and I want to make a car for him just to let him know how much that I love him and I'm going to miss him and wish him fair winds and following seas. So we're going to build this car for this petty officer, and this subscriber is going to present it to him hopefully before he deploys. And this is going to be a fun build, a tribute build. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage. Cheers to the United States military and join along. Okay, we've got the car already drilled out. Now there's only one post on this car, and that's in the very front. In the back there's a little clip that holds it in place. Let's carefully get this pried apart so we don't mar up the metal. And if you're putting it inside the wheel well, be really careful where you put the screwdriver because you don't want to bend the axles or damage the tires or the body of the car or the base of the car. So take it easy and take it apart very slowly. Let's go ahead and do an autopsy on the parts. First off, we're going to go ahead and take a file and flatten out the posts that we need to drill. We want it to be able to mate up to the base real easy when we go ahead to put the screw in. Now, we're filing it down flat, but we still have the divot in the middle, which is going to act as a guide when we go to drill out the post. Now, this is a more modern car, so we're going to use a 5/64 drill bit, and we're going to use 2-56 screws. Everything on this car is brand new because I broke it out of the blister. It's got a metal base with real riders, so that's absolutely cool. There's the clip in the bottom where the license plate goes, and that fits real nice. This is a sharp looking car. Now, I'm not a big fan of station wagons, but you know what? If done right, they can be done really, really cool. Now, again, like I said, we're going to use a 5/64 drill bit, and later on we're going to put in 2-56 screws. Now, notice the length of your post. You don't want to drill past that because you don't want to drill a hole all the way through and through the hood of the car. So take your time, and every so often, go ahead and clean out that drill bit to make sure that the flutes on the drill bit are clear and that the metal is going to flow freely through those flutes so it doesn't get clogged up. You may even want to put a little drop of motor oil where you're drilling to help lubricate it and to help that drill bit work better. Plus, it'll help the wear on your drill bit eventually, over a period of time. When you're drilling, and if you're holding it in your hand like I do, make sure that you don't hold your hand where the post is located inside the car. That way there, if you accidentally drill through the post, you won't drill into your hand. And there's a safety tip for you right there. Like I said, every so often stop, clean out your drill bit, and note how deep you've drilled so you got enough room to compensate for the screw you're going to put in. Well, that's definitely deep enough. Here we're going to take 1 drop of motor oil. Now, some people use WD-40. Some people use 3-in-1 oil, whatever. I use motor oil. It's what I prefer. Look at that. Just a little tiny twist of the tap and it'll suspend. Now, these tap handles, you can get these tap handles at Second Chance Redlines. So go check out Second Chance Redlines. It's Vince's website, and he makes all kinds of custom decals, and he's got parts for your car. He's got hoods, he's got glass, and he makes all his own decals. Now we're going to use these 256 screws. Now the two lengths that I use are 3/16 and 1/8. Plus I use this T5 Torx screwdriver to put it in. Now all these things are available on my Amazon Marketplace page, which is listed in the comments. Copy the link, post it, go to the Amazon Marketplace page. Now this is just a convenience for you, so you don't have to search all over the internet for this stuff. All right. I've got a container for all the loose parts so I don't lose anything, and I have it marked clearly with tape as to what this project is so I don't lose anything. Let's move on. Here we've got the body, and we're going to put it in the embalming fluid, aka citrus strip. And when I say aka, that is an abbreviation for also known as, aka, okay? Just in case you didn't know, or for our friends overseas who are watching that might not be familiar with the English language. That's what that means. Now we're going to set this out and we're going to let it sit overnight probably, because this is premium paint and it may take a little bit to get through. All right, once I got it cleaned up with paint thinner, I sprayed it down with Tamiya surface primer, and I used the gray color. Now the reason I'm using gray is we're going to paint this up like the battleship USS Curtis Wilbur. I printed my own decals. Now I've been having a little bit of a problem with my white toner lining up, so what I'm going to do to make sure that that isn't an issue is I'm going to put the white toner decals down first, and then I'm going to put the color decals over the top of that. Make sure you wet it really well, and then squeegee it out with a Q-tip, or if you're in Australia, a cotton bud. Once you get it where you want it, take your Q-tip and smooth it out and get all the wrinkles out of it, all the air bubbles, all the trapped water, etc., etc. Just take your time so you don't rip the decal. There we go. Centered up where I want it, nice and smooth. And what I've done here is I've printed up the logo for the Curtis Wilbur. And we're going to put that on top of the roof. It's a lot of fun making these cars for military folks and like that. I myself am retired Army. I did 20 years. And it was an incredibly huge part of my life. And the United States Army was fantastic for me. It took a young green kid and turned him into a man. Man, that looks sweet. That's going to go well. All right, we'll let that set. Now we're going to put some other identification features from the destroyer on the side of the vehicle here. Once I get the decal out of the water, I've actually got a sponge sitting in the water also. So when I get the decal wet, I place it on the sponge so the decal doesn't float away while you're waiting to put it on. Now the number I'm putting on here is number 54, and that's the number of the USS Curtis Wilbur. Now don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell for any future videos that come out. I'm getting really close to 7,000 subscribers, and I got some big announcements coming up for there. So just stay tuned to my channel. Subscribe if you would, please. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're here already watching the video, there's no reason you shouldn't be a subscriber. Here we go, number 54. Get it to where you want it positioned. Use your Q-tip or whatever you're going to use and squeegee out the excess water and smooth out the wrinkles. I always keep a container of Q-tips on my desk off to the side so I can grab a handful if I need them. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to put the name of the ship on the sides of the doors, at the lower portion of the doors on the car here. Try and get it as close to the position as you want without destroying the decals. I don't like the way that that's positioned. Now, upon closer inspection of these decals, the name Curtis Wilbur, Wilber, is the way I spelled it, and it's incorrect. It's Wilbur. All right, so I wound up having to take these off anyway, reprinting decals and coming back in and doing it again. It's okay because for some reason I was having a hard time keeping these straight, so I wound up taking them off anyway, and it worked out for the best. But here's another tip for you. Please check out the spelling of any words you're putting on to make sure they're correct. Let's go ahead and move on. I put the white toner decal down first, and now I'm going to put the United States Navy emblem on top in the middle. This is going to be a good finishing touch to this car. Just be careful because you can definitely move it with no issues. Now, before you set this car aside while it's drying overnight, check all the positioning of the decals to make sure that you didn't bump something or grab something by accident. I've done it in the past, and nothing is worse than getting ready to clear coat your car and finding out that you screwed it up. Let's let it set overnight and then we'll clear coat it.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
We put some great clear coat on there from the Redline shop. Here we've got the Curtis Wilbur spelled with a U in Wilbur. I went ahead and I detailed the tail lights, the headlights, etc. There's the Navy emblem on top. There's the USS Curtis Wilbur emblem on the roof. That looks fantastic. Here's the base with the Real Rider tires and the metal base. Here's the interior. That looks good, and the glass looks good. Let's put it all together and have our reveal. And here's what we started with. This 50th anniversary Datsun B510 wagon. This is an incredibly sharp looking car. Now, because it's got a premium paint job on it and it's got the extra clear coat and everything, you want to have a little bit of time to make sure that you get all that paint off. So I had to dip this at least twice to make sure that I got everything off, and then had to get in there with a wire wheel and make sure it was all nice and clean before I continued on with what I was doing. Now, when I put the gray paint down, what that was Chroma Air paint from Spray Gunner. Now, Chroma Air paint is a water-based paint. It's a urethane paint, and it's airbrush ready. That's the best part. Now, I've got another video coming up here where I'm using these Chroma Air paints, and check out Spray Gunner. I've got a link in the comments. What a great product, and a bunch of great other things for your airbrush needs. So check them out. And here's what we got to. This beautiful Navy detailed car, Navy theme USS Curtis Wilbur, Destroyer number 54. We detailed up the car with the headlights, the tail lights. We made some beautiful decals for it, the Navy logo, the Curtis Wilbur logo on top, the wording on the sides, and the number of the ship on the side. This is going to be great for the petty officer that this is going to, who's assigned to the Curtis Wilbur and they're getting ready to deploy. God bless all my military friends, all the men, the women, the families who support them. We can't thank them enough for the sacrifices that these families make for our country, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Myself being a veteran, I can't say enough. I mean, the United States means so much to me, the flags, and I know it means a lot to you too, because we are the greatest country in the world. And that's not meant to offend my friends overseas either. And to top it all off, we made a custom card. Here's a picture of the Curtis Wilbur, the logo there, the car in there, and the rope trimming around the outside where the car goes. Now on the back of the card, we've got the custom certificate of authenticity on the back. All the sponsors on there: Redline Shop, SprayGunner.com, Sam Ed Wheels, great product, Flitz, I can't thank them enough, and Second Chance Redlines. And here's all the websites. Now check out this QR code. It'll take you immediately to the Diecast Graveyard YouTube page. It's autographed by me personally in gold ink. And man, I'll tell you, this was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this build. Thank you so much for joining me today in Diecast Graveyard. I've been so busy lately with things. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. We still got the Halloween build-off that I've got to post. All kinds of things happening, folks. But please stay tuned. We got a lot of great things happening, and 7,000 subscribers is coming up soon. Thank you so much, and cheers.